Catalytic converter stolen. How many times have you read about that? You own an RV, you're on the forums, on the pages, and you see the catalytic converter from my motorhome was stolen, or the catalytic converter from my tow truck was stolen, my tow vehicle. It's a really big problem right now, and what are we going to do as RVers to help prevent this? Hey everyone, Izzy from Endless RVing. Today's video, we're going to be talking about catalytic converters getting stolen. What can we do about this? Now, we're going back to our old school DIY video. We have what we think is a pretty good solution. If anybody doesn't know, I'm a police officer. I've been so for over 21 years, and I have seen a huge uptick in the thefts of catalytic converters. And it's going on everywhere, from neighborhoods that are very high end to neighborhoods that are not. It is going on everywhere, especially in the RV community. So if this is new to you, which I'd be surprised if it is, this is going to be a video you're really going to want to watch. So what is the catalytic converter? We're going to talk specifically on motorhomes right now. I know personally probably 3 different people have gotten the catalytic converter stolen. One dealership that we work with a lot, they had 7 hit in one night. Each one of these catalytic converters in the Ford F53 to replace the OEM, I believe the MSRP for the catalytic converter part is about $2,300. Now that will be covered under insurance most of the time. The problem is that they're really hard to get right now. So you may be out months before you can use your motorhome waiting for a replacement part. And even if you go aftermarket, you're still well over $1,000 to replace that part. So let's show you exactly how the thieves are working and what they're targeting. So I'm under our motorhome right now with my trusty light here. I just want to show you where the catalytic converter is on our motorhome, and it's very similar for most motorhomes, most modern motorhomes. So right here, if you look, here's your catalytic converter, right? You see the oxygen sensor coming in on the top. What thieves are doing is very easy to steal. They're taking a Sawzall, battery operated Sawzall. They'll cut here. They'll cut, I'm going to show my foot over here. This part comes right out. They take it to a scrapyard. They get 150, 200 bucks for it. But what they do, they'll hit multiple ones a night. I know the county where I work, there was actually an incident that I was privy to, I guess, helping out with that. They stole, I believe, 27 or 28 in one night from one place. So it takes probably 2 minutes to cut that with a Sawzall. Imagine if you steal 28 of them, you get 200 bucks each. It can be a very lucrative business. So what can you do as the RV owner, the motorhome owner, to help try to protect yourself from this? I mean, a lot of times you're not even going to know it's happened till you go to turn on your motorhome and it sounds like a stock car, a NASCAR, because it's going to be really loud, really obnoxious. You get the check engine light. You really can't drive it around in that condition. So what can you do? A couple of things. Let's start with the basics. Number one, you want to try to park in a secure area if you can. We're parked in our driveway right now. It's pretty secure for us. As you can see, you haven't seen any traffic coming down this block. There really is no traffic here other than the people that live here. So if there's somebody that pulls up in here, you can look at the street here. There's really nowhere to double park. Somebody pulls up in front of our home. We have cameras. There's usually somebody always home. We're going to know there's somebody here. There shouldn't be anybody here. So that's a big thing, trying to park in a secure, well-lit area. The problem with what I just said is that a lot of times you cannot park at a secure area. You're at a campground. You have to drop off your motorhome, your RV for service at a dealership. You can't park at home and you're at a storage facility, whatever it is. These are the places where thieves see the opportunity. Like I said, it takes 2 minutes, maybe even less if they're really good at it. They're in and out. They hit a bunch, they're out. That is what worries me. Most of the time, our motorhome is at home, it's at a campground, or there's times when we drop it off for service. And that's where my big concern is. Some of the service places we go to, they're not fenced in. The motorhomes are outside overnight. And although a lot of them are not in high crime areas, I've seen this issue happen in places that are not high crime areas because it's just such easy money. So there's something that there's products out there. There's one product in particular we just got that we're going to install it, and we're going to show you why we chose this product, how it goes installed, and how it's going to deter a theft. All right, so what we chose to do, well, before we even get to that, there's a couple different ways that you can secure your catalytic converter. This is more specifically for cars and trucks, not so much for RVs. There are actually plates that you can weld, or custom made weld over the catalytic converter. It makes it pretty difficult to get at. There's also, there's wire type cages that you can put on. These are a little more cumbersome. They do work. All of these products, everything we're going to show you, including the one that we chose, all of them can be defeated with enough effort. The point is that you want to try to make it difficult. So a thief doesn't want to deal with it. They want to get in and out. They want quick money. They don't want to be fighting with something 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, you're making a lot of noise, bringing attention to them. That's what they don't want. So any security system, any deterrent can be defeated if a thief is motivated enough. But with an over 99% success rate, what we chose is very easy to put on, relatively inexpensive, and I think everybody out there really should invest in one. All right, so after reading numerous different web pages, looking online, forums, we chose to get the CatStrap. What is the CatStrap? Well, it's a company based out US. I believe they're out in Ohio, so that was always a big plus for us. They make everything in-house. It seems to be a super simple but really effective system when you think about it. Anybody can install it. You don't need to put your motorhome up on a lift. You don't have to weld. It's a very simple concept. It's relatively inexpensive. So what is the CatStrap? It looks almost like a belt, a strap that goes tied along your catalytic converter and exhaust pipe. Inside that CatStrap contains a hardened piece of metal along with multiple cables, stainless steel aircraft grade cables, that when a thief tries to cut with the blade of a sawzall, what happens is those cables, they move back and forth, and the hardened steel, they move on the hardened steel. What that does is it makes it virtually impossible, at least with a sawzall blade, to cut through that. And that strap is going to run along the exhaust as well as the catalytic converter. It goes clamped down, so it makes it very difficult to remove. So once I found out about this product, did a little more research, I actually contacted them. I spoke to the owner, Tom, told him that, you know, we have a motorhome, it's a big problem with thefts going on, and I have concerns, meaning when this thing is in service, that it will come back one day and the catalytic converter is not there. So Tom agreed to send us out the CatStrap. This is kind of like a two-part system. You can buy the CatStrap, which is the actual strap itself, and then there's a second layer. It's called a cat eye, and what the cat eye is, it's basically an alarm system. It makes a really loud, like 130 plus decibel noise. There's a sensor that goes underneath your coach, RV, car, whatever you use it on, and it senses if somebody's there for like 10 seconds or more, it just sends off this blaring noise. So you have a blaring noise that apparently is really hard to be around, and you also have this strap that's making it much more difficult to cut with the sawzall. Again, what you want is a lot of annoyance, a lot of noise, a reason that you want that thief just to get the hell out of there and move on to the next one. So what comes in the box when you buy a CatStrap? And we'll talk about pricing at the end of this video. I'm going to be installing it live for you. I don't know how easy, I mean, it seems to be easy, but we'll find out. So first thing is the CatStrap itself. That's this. So this is made in-house over in Ohio at CatStrap. This is the 7-foot one. They make a 7-foot and a 12-foot. As you can see here, it's a bright orange, which is a good thing because you want it to be like thief to know that, listen, there's going to be an issue here. Here is the hardened piece of metal on the back. You can feel it. This side will go away facing outside toward the street. And then on the inside here, it's kind of hard to see, but there's the cable. So when thief is trying to cut through this, it's just causing the cable. Well, first of all, they got to get through the hardened steel. And then you have that cable that's just sliding back and forth. What you want to do is wear out those blades, right? Just keep wearing them out. A lot of times, you know, these thieves, they're not working with a bunch of different tools. They're not going to be taking out a ratchet set or a grinder and a sawzall. Maybe they are, but most of them, it's in and out. I've seen these things on video happen. They're in and out very quickly. There is an adhesive on the back of this strap that once you put that strap on and the exhaust heats up, it becomes like a permanent bond. What I was told by the owner is that you would need to have this thing on a lift, and there's a significant amount of effort that would be taken, that would be needed to take it off. Once it's taken off, it's done. He said, on your back, it's virtually impossible to pull that off. You'd have to cut through it. They do recommend that you buy exhaust clamps on your own. The reason why they don't provide is because exhaust piping comes in so many different sizes. For the F53, 3-inch exhaust clamps. So here's an exhaust clamp, guys. These are very cheap. You can get these anywhere at AutoZone, whatever auto parts store. These are about $3 to $4. You want 4 of them. You want one in front of the catalytic converter, one behind the catalytic converter, and then one right at the end of where the CatStrap goes. And that's where these parts here, they're going to go in conjunction with this to kind of reinforce it. The next thing that comes in the box, here is the cat eye, and you also see that you have a warning label. So the cat eye, it's a 2-part, and we'll open it up and we'll show you a little later. But basically you have the actual sensor here, and then this is the unit itself. It comes with just 2 loops. negative and positive power loops, and those will go right onto your battery. I'm probably going to hook it up either under the hood or to the generator battery, not quite sure. And then there's also a remote control that it comes with, so you can arm and disarm. Now, some of the concerns are animals, other things, leaves, things that can move around that would set this alarm off. There is a way you can set the sensitivity. It's not going to go off just with motion. It's going to go off with motion that replicates somebody moving around under there for more than like 5-6 seconds. Somebody's making an action to try to take that catalytic off. I'm going to show you what's needed to actually install this, and then we're going to take you on the installation and see how easy, how difficult it is, and finally what it looks like at the end. So according to the instructions that come in here also, a couple things we're going to need. Like I said, going to need at least 4 exhaust clamps for the appropriate size of your exhaust. A couple of tools I have out here, a little pad so I can get in underneath the coach or a creeper, whatever you want. I have my safety glasses because I've taken rust in the eye. I don't want that anymore. I have some drill bits. Don't know if I'm going to need them. Maybe, because that cat eye actually, in order to mount the unit and the sensor, you use screws. I could probably use 2-sided tape also, but I don't know if I'm going to need that or not. Maybe I will. I have a light because we need to see under there. Zip ties, of course. You never know when you're going to use zip ties. I have an impact wrench. Don't know if I'm going to need it. Maybe I will. Some blue Loctite. Now, the Loctite is going to be for the bolts of the exhaust clamps. You could tack weld on there if you want. You can throw JB weld on there if you want. You can throw red Loctite. You can weld it if you. It doesn't matter. If you want to make it, I'm just going to put blue Loctite just to make it a little more difficult. I can put red a little later. Whatever you want, you can do that. And then we have socket 14 millimeter, some wire clippers, extension, ratchet. Here's some self-tapping screws. I have some more screws over here, my Milwaukee drill, and gloves. Maybe I'll need some of that, maybe I won't, but we'll know when we get underneath. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do, safety glasses on. We have the liquid spring system on our motorhome. I'm going to raise it up to the highest level so I can get some room underneath. You can see how high this actually is. When in the low position, this over here is right down to the ground. So you can see I have a lot of clearance under here now. Catalytic converter on our unit is, it's right there. It's kind of right behind the front wheels. This should be a pretty easy install. I'm not too concerned about it. I'm gonna get everything under here. I'll get my padding or creeper if you have one of those. I'm gonna slide this under here. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to cut open the CatStrap, kind of unfurl it, unroll it, and see how I'm going to position this. I think I have a pretty good idea. That thing opens up right away. I think I have a good idea of how I want to position this. Let's see underneath what it really looks like. You see we have kind of like a little bit of a heat shield here. So I slipped the CatStrap underneath that heat shield, just kind of push it a little bit. So now that has the double protection over here, makes it a little more difficult to get at it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run it right over here. There'll have that one exhaust clamp right here, of course, one exhaust clamp right here. We'll kind of pull it in real tight before we clamp everything down. Then, to make this even more difficult, because people are gonna say, well, why don't you just cut before and after, which I guess you can. But again, I'm gonna be putting clamps. What I'm going to do is wrap around this part, wrap it around nice and tight, and then I'll bring it through here, clamp it right into the exhaust there. Now this becomes more difficult to cut here. There's a lot less room if you want to use a grinder or something else, and then you still have to deal with the strap being over here and the rest of the way. Then you can see there you have another part of the frame here. I'm going to run the CatStrap over this part, loop it over this part here, okay? And then I'm going to finish and clamp it down at the end. Will it be impossible to remove? No, it's not going to be impossible to remove. Will it be a big pain in the to remove? Yeah, probably. And then after I'm done with the strap, I have to figure out where I'm going to put the cat eye, because again, if you're going through all this work, now you have this blaring noise in the background. I think a lot of people are just going to kind of walk the other way, which is what we want. All right, so I have the position on the clamp bolt. So you can see I have one after the cat. Tighten this up with the provided straps that they give us. And also I'll tighten this up once it gets, I get everything in the position. But you see the blocks that they tell you to put. This is the position they were going. Apparently what this causes is that when you put these blocks on the clamps, I guess it causes more vibration when they try to cut, and it makes it very, very difficult because you have those cables running through. Apparently they roll even more with this. I don't know, I haven't tested it, but I'm going to do what the instructions say. So far, it's taken about 10 minutes to get this in position. I'm going to pull everything nice and tight. Once this heats up, this will adhere pretty much permanently to the exhaust system. I'll make my loops, show everything, and then once I'm ready to clamp everything down nice and tight, I'll show you what it looks like. that took by myself probably about an hour. But here's the end result, guys. So at least with the CatStrap itself, you can see I was gonna loop it up around that area here, but that proved to be kind of not make sense. So I just let it run out to the end, and then you can see where I put the 3-inch clamp. Here are the little you know, metal zip ties almost that they provide. I may get some more clamps, maybe 2 or 3 more metal clamps. Here's the back and front of the Cat, and then I brought it up front, wrapped it around this bar here, and finished it off right over here where the exhaust comes out from the heads, and I clamped it down there. Once I, you know, drive around a little bit, heat builds up. Wherever there's heat, it's going to adhere to the metal. So that's the first part of the installation. Now the second part is going to be the cat eye. I need to figure out where I'm going to put that in. Normally you would do the firewall, but since this is a motorhome, I have to see how much cabling they give and what's going to be the best option to get it installed. Alrighty, so we started about 11:45, 2:27 now. The installation is complete, so give yourself 3 hours or so. First time doing it again, I took my time. If it's 2 people, it's probably a lot less time. So let me show you where I put the cat eye. So I did run it up to the chassis battery. If you look here, this is where I mounted the actual alarm right behind here. I'll show you when I go underneath. I routed the wires up. Goes positive and negative. That's where it's at. Right now, the system is armed. I did test it out before I went on camera. It does work. Pretty damn loud, too. Like I said before, you have the A, arms it. It'll give you an audible tone, like an alarm that it's on. B will disarm it. Let me show you where I mounted. Now, it's not gonna go off because I'm behind the sensor right now. So this is where the alarm is mounted, 2-sided tape. It's on there pretty solid. You know, that's not going anywhere. You can tap screws in there if you want. And then I ran the cable, you can see here, the cable for the sensor up and across, down, zip tied it over here to the liquid spring, and then it's gonna be right on the other side here. I'll show you, but like right over here. And you can see it's gonna give a nice shot of the area where a thief would have to be working if they wanna get at the cat. Now again, it's been armed, you saw it hasn't gone off. You got to be disturbing that field of view for several seconds. That way if animals, leaves, stuff like that pass underneath, it's not always going to be going off. So right now it's armed. Right over in that area is, I'm shining the light on it, is where I put the sensor. Let me get the remote in hand so I don't blow my ears out because this thing is pretty loud. So like I said, it's going to take a couple seconds. I'll make my way under like I'm a thief. Get my Sawzall out. All right. There it goes. There's a little warning. It's going to keep going. I'm doing my thing, I'm cutting. This is exactly where I have to get right here to start. Is gonna be over here. There's the alarm, there it goes. It's going to keep going as I continue to cut. It's really annoying. You know, it's gonna give a little blast. It's gonna do its thing. So that's kind of the complete installation. Please don't mind the dog barking in the background. He's going a little crazy. So everybody's gonna wanna know, what is the price of this? Now, just be advised, these guys they're making them as fast as they can ship them out. Obviously, with the amount of thefts going on, it's a big issue. We got this in about a week. I don't know what their lead time is. You give them a call, we'll put all their information below. So what is the price? So if you want just the CatStrap, that's gonna be the little orange belt that I showed you, that's $149.99. If you want just the cat eye, that is $179.99. If you want the package, which is what we have, $279.99. Now, will this 100% prevent a theft of a cat? No, not 100%. When I spoke to the owner, they said they have over 10 years and 99% success rate of people that have used it have not gotten their cat stolen. Less than 300 bucks, guys. Again, is it a 100% solution? No. Is it probably going to piss off a thief and probably make them move on to something else? Yeah. Again, you want layers of protection. This is certainly a layer of protection that we chose to have. At least I can have a little more mental confidence and mental ease when I drop our motorhome off somewhere to be repaired. So in the comments below, let us know, have you heard of CatStrap before? If you got your catalytic converter stolen, let us know that also. Or do you have a different type of system that you use to protect your cat? Let us know in the comments below. And also to the left of us, we're gonna put our RV DIYs as well as RV walkthrough playlist. And from myself, Izzy, MJ is not here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the road.